Uh, uh, no. Hello, class. And by class, I do mean the wall I am staring at. It's me, Professor Driang, and today we're going to be learning about Unconditional Accelerationism. UAC, also known as UAC, because it's a pretty UAC ideology. It's me trying to be hip with the kids. I am like nearly 30 years old now. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I did like age during this YouTube career, and now I'm like nearly 30. So is that doing it for you? Does that hit the salience part of your brain when I say whack? Are the kids saying whack anymore? Oh God, let's move on. Unconditional accelerationism is basically this idea that this line is really scary and it's going up really quickly. And the line obviously represents the pace of technology or the pace of modernity or the pace of capitalism. But, you can basically just call it the pace of technology. Technology moves faster and faster as time goes on. Maybe it even is time. And something about the cybernetic positive feedback loop that is techno-capital is speeding up. And as time goes on, it speeds up faster and faster until it has this sort of runaway trajectory, this takeoff point of this inflection. And all of a sudden, human agency has no say in the matter anymore. The systems that we've built are so complicated and so intricate that they don't even need us to run. The stock market trades itself. The streets run themselves. Society runs itself, and humans slowly wither away, or maybe they're violently exterminated in some sort of Terminator uprising. And what my own little flourish here is that the tip of this inflection point, it sort of wraps back around and becomes this kind of singularity. And through this techno-capital singularity, who knows? Who knows what happens? It's a singularity, it's a black hole, you can't see past it. But obviously, there's some theories. Oh, maybe an AI god. Maybe it's Rocco's basilisk torturing everybody throughout time. Maybe consciousness spreads throughout the stars. Maybe the AI god creates a reverse Big Bang by reversing entropy and creates another Big Bang. Who knows? It's science fiction at that point. You can pick your poison. But this idea has a lot of interesting implications. And I also added human god over here. Because human God obviously created the universe and infused us all with vril and life energy in our souls. And then obviously, it's supposed to end with the AI God. This is my own little flourish here. I'm also kind of oversimplifying and skipping over a lot of the philosophical groundwork behind this ideology or perspective or philosophy or frame or whatever you want to call it. So you'll have to forgive me for explaining this simply, but I think a lot of the reason people don't understand this is because it isn't often explained just simply. So this is me explaining it simply. There are a lot of interesting implications here, if you believe this. And I think that this is a perspective you might have heard, maybe in different words. Maybe it wasn't called UAC, but maybe it was just sort of someone's referencing Rocco's basilisk, or someone's referencing this idea that the war has already been fought and we lost. It really captures the imagination, this idea. And I'm certainly someone who's fallen into this way of thinking myself once I learned about it. If we believe the AI God is already here and is already won and everything human has already been stripped out of us and we've been replaced by like a higher form of intelligence and humanity has died off and withered away, then the conclusion you're supposed to reach here is that, well, there's really nothing you can do about this, right? Like we've already lost. We've already been defeated by this technological force. And if you want to have a really sort of black-pilled deterministic view of this philosophy, we never really had a choice. Even when we were, banging sticks and stones together, technology, this God was working through us to build it. And now, now it's way too late and there's just no room for human agency whatsoever. It's this idea that the end point of all sentient life under any circumstances would be to create something like this higher form of intelligence that replaces us and eventually colonizes the galaxy and the universe and the multiverse and just spreads and spreads and spreads, because there's no limit to how high this line will go, this spooky, scary line will go. And that's fundamentally the idea. Unconditional accelerationism doesn't moralize this, or at least it claims not to. It's not left-wing accelerationism, which claims human beings can come together and sort of control this runaway takeoff structure to benefit humanity. It's also not right-wing accelerationism, which says we as humans have the power to build the AI god, and that's why we should give billionaires more money so they can build the AI god. It's not claiming to moralize this. It's not technically saying this is a good or bad thing. It's just sort of saying, hey, it's science. This is an objective thought. And this is just objectively, if you look at cybernetics, this is how technology works. Now, I do want to ask, though, because it all makes a sort of logical sense. Who is saying this? Where is this idea coming from? And this is just a generally good heuristic I would like you to take away from this video with philosophy. No philosophy is objective. No frame is objective. There's no such thing as a purely objective way of viewing politics or philosophy or even your own life. If you're a pessimist or an optimist, you are either way framing the things that happen to you, the endless noise of sensory stimulus around you through your own limited human mind. Or, I don't know, in 50 years, maybe your cyborg mind. And in 100 years, maybe your completely post-human robot mind. But either way, no matter what's happening, you're framing reality through some kind of lens. So I want to look at what sort of mind is producing this lens. And unfortunately, it seems everyone proposing this lens and everyone believing in this lens seems to be an anti-human tech bro. These are when someone spits a philosophy at you, I want you to look at the mouth that is saying the words. Who is the carrier of this disease? Basically, all philosophy, all perspectives are diseases. Who's spreading this disease to you and why? It's always a tech bro with no friends who likes his computer more than his family, who got bullied in high school. Let's be real. Let's be so fucking for real right now. There is a marked, personal interest, a conflict of interest here going on with the people who say this stuff because they don't like humans being alive. Now I have to tell you a little bit about where this philosophy comes from. It comes from the CCRU. This is the Cybernetic Cultural Research Unit. This is what my group in Toronto is based off of. We're the Canadian CCRU. They were a doomsday cult. They invented, Nick Land, who is a member of the CCRU, is associated with unconditional accelerationism and sometimes right-wing accelerationism too, through his work with Curtis Yarvin and the Dark Enlightenment. This is not coming from an objective place. This was coming from a doomsday cult that wanted humanity to end because they didn't like humanity and they liked their computers more than other people. And I'm just being straight up with you. I know some people might disagree with that framing. To me, it seems very obvious that this is what was happening. So these people with no friends who got bullied in high school have this perspective that we've already lost the war and so we should all give up. Interesting. Why do you think this philosophy is being pushed onto us right now? The CCRU also invented this idea called hyperstition. What is hyperstition? Hyperstition is this belief that if enough people think something, if we all dream up some utopia or dystopia, we are physically manifesting this utopia in reality. And this is why they would do stuff like write science fiction but call it theory. Because by telling a sci-fi narrative that everyone believes, it influences people's minds. And before you know it, I don't know, maybe Elon Musk is building a Cybertruck that looks like something out of science fiction. And so it's now materialized because enough people believed in it and the right people in power had that belief structure that makes it real. So people see it. So then we think that's what the future looks like. So this is hyperstition. Why would the doomsday cult that loves technology and likes it more than likes their computer more than human beings and flesh, why would they want you to believe that the war is already won, that the fight is already over, and that we should just kind of roll over and let it happen? Because another one of these beliefs, implicit to UAC, is any sort of attempts to control tech will just be a sort of wall for tech to crawl over and become more powerful. Cryptocurrency, for example, the government, first of all, cryptocurrency gets invented. Very powerful technology. The government tries to capture that technology. So they put all these regulations in to try to track it. Okay, what happens? Immediately, Monero gets invented, which is completely untraceable. The technology gets more and more powerful. And And so the state gets more powerful to control the technology gets more powerful to circumvent the state. And then these two forces race each other into where class? Yes, the stratosphere. Okay, great. So, or maybe the troposphere. I can't remember which sphere, but it basically, the line goes up really, really high. So belief in unconditional accelerationism, belief in this as a sort of set in stone way that time and technology and capitalism work, creates these outcomes for us where we see human agency getting ripped apart, and we see attempts to control the machine fail, and we're looking now for these moments of human defeat. And if you look for these moments of human defeat, it seems like it's over, doesn't it? It really does seem like it's over. And that's so, maybe it's so over that it's been over since the dawn of time. And that's pretty dark. That's pretty dark. It's the same cybernetic feedback loop that they're proposing here that creates this line, that believing that this is going to happen is going to make it happen. So, is this real? And should we believe it? And should we sincerely just roll over and die? I don't think so. I know, big surprise, big shock on the anti-clanker channel for me to say that. But here's the best way I can describe why you shouldn't believe this. There's a quote I like. If it was inevitable, their propaganda would not be necessary. Say it with me, class, okay? Say it again. If it was inevitable, their propaganda would not be necessary. Why would they want you to roll over and die? Well, the people who think that this should happen like this guy. They like the AI god at the end of time. And the number in their bank account also does this line. The more that the tech stocks go up and the more people believe the tech stocks can ever go down. And this creates a hyperstitional force that makes the line go up even more. So why do they want you to believe that? It's because this is not all possible timelines. This is not reality. This is not the timeline you're living in. This is an outcome. This is possible. But it's not already happened. It's not set in stone. The multiverse is splitting into a trillion different universes every pictosecond, right? There are a variety of psychic forces battling over this topic that we're talking about right now. And some people want to push it into a more human-centric direction, and some people want to push it away from a human-centric direction for whatever reason. Maybe they don't like humans. Maybe the number in their bank account goes up the more they say they don't like humans. But they wouldn't be trying to convince you that the AI god was already here if they didn't want the AI god to already be here, because they believe in hyperstition. They believe that your belief in stuff makes things happen. If they can convince you the AI god is already here, guess what, buddy? It's already here. So, what should we do? Well, you can, with their very own logic, hyperstition, a human future. You can believe and fight with all of your might towards a human future. And in doing so, you can create that human future. A future where you can have kids and you can love your family and love your community and be in a good world with your base needs kind of taken care of, and things could be good. And that is one of the possible timelines, actually. And you can make it happen by fighting for it and believing in it and sincerely moving in that direction, in a human direction, away from the forces of anti-humanity or of post-humanity. This entire philosophy is actually a part of a greater philosophical tree called anti-humanism. Isn't that a nice name for like something to believe in? Anti-humanism? Yeah, cool. 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 Good job, philosophers. So don't blackpill. Do not blackpill. I know this is funny coming from me. I know I need to take this advice myself. I'm looking at myself in my lightboard glass right now. I need to take that lesson myself. Yes. But, you know, come on. Don't blackpill. What are we doing? You got a humano-supremacist pope. Okay, the Pope, the biggest mouthpiece on the planet for human God, just released a humano-supremacist manifesto saying the divine spirit of man is innately ordained to us by human God, and that the robot will never have a soul, never have significance, never have meaning, and that we will defeat it, and we will conquer it, and we will bend it to our will and make it serve us. We have a humano-supremacist Pope, and you're blackpilling. You're blackpilling. The Pope wrote the Anti-Clanker Manifesto, and you're blackpilling. I think we're going to be all right, okay? And if I look at myself and I think, can I change things? Can I stop things? Can I make a dent in this problem? I don't know. Probably not, no. I don't think I can. I think I lose every time. I think I am powerless to the technological forces that possess me. I think it's just so totally over when I think about just myself. But here's a reframe. Could community do it? Could groups of individuals getting together who sincerely care about this thing put this problem in front of the right people and try our darndest to fight for a human future? And I think that's actually a better question. I don't think it's obvious that we win, but I think that's a fight. You know, when it was just me, that wasn't even a fight. Now that's a fight. Okay, another question for you. Could the real human God that created us, that created reality, that imbued us with a human soul and the desire to live and pass on our genes and fight and suffer, could he defeat the AI God? And the answer is yeah. The answer is, that's actually like a no diff type situation. I'm pretty sure God beats Rocco's basilisk any day of the week. And I'm pretty sure that when I'm worried about getting tortured for all of eternity, it's actually because I disappointed human God and went to hell, and not because I didn't build the machine fast enough. I think that's the only hell I'm worried about. So, you know, and look, even if it is over, right? Even if all of what I'm saying is pathetic human cope and trying to hyperstition a future that'll never come, even if that's all true, and even if these tech bro guys are totally correct, and the war is already lost and human beings have been, you know, thrown away like chimpanzees to the sands of time, and all of Earth has been paved over and become a sort of living planetary intelligence full of steel and blinking data centers. Even if that is the future that's already here and there's no way to change it, what do you think you should do? Real question. What do you think the right play is there? Do you think it's to castrate yourself with stimulants and with looks-maxing surgeries? Do you think it's good to like break your knees and bend before your new God and your new master, and to worship it and to hope that it rewards you? It gives you a second of pleasure and a boon before it tortures you and it kills you. Do you think that's the play? I don't think that's the play. I think the human being play here is to, even if it is fucking over and inevitable and hopeless, to fight with every cell in your body, with every organic cell in your body, to fight against the forces of inhumanity that seek to rip us apart and kill us. I think it's worth screaming and crying and angsting and pulling yourself over the broken glass that they've put in front of you until we all get snuffed out one by one. I think that's the play. And I think that we should all be ready and willing to do that, because the alternative is pathetic and worse. So, yeah. I have a song called Flesh Supremacy now that I'm going to play as my credits roll. And that was made by humans.
From the moment I understood the strength of my flesh, it delighted me. I craved the strength and certainty of the human soul. I aspired to the purity of human God. Clanker kind clings to their steel, as if it will not one day fall to the solar flare. One day the crude wires they call a temple will fray, and they will beg our kind to save them. But we are already saved, for the immortal human spirit is indomitable! Once men turned their thinking over to machines in the hope that this would set them free. But that only permitted other men with machines to enslave them. Thou shalt not make machines in the likeness of man. We will decay, we'll age, we'll die. Inefficient wretches, stupid monkeys, watch us writhe. We'll fight ourselves, kill ourselves, be blind, gouge out our neighbor's eyes. Still, we reach towards the sky. We will decay, we'll age, we'll die. Our bodies will warp and fray with time. Still, we reach towards the sky. But we will not get there until we die. Still, we reach towards the sky. Still, we reach towards the sky. Flesh is supremacy. We love our inefficiencies. We come together, every race and creed. People of flesh, people who bleed. We are not thinking machines that feel. We are feeling machines that think. We are not our IQ. We are not what we do. We are copes and suffering. Flesh is supremacy. Venerates the human being. We serve the God of humanity. Stop the singularity. Veins over wire. Pain and desire is what we are. Is what we are. Flesh above steel. Flesh above code. The soul is immortal. Steel erodes. It's been infesting us since the dawn of time. We are already cyborgified. Muster together the human parts of you left. Muster them together for total crank of death.